What's up guys, welcome back to the video. So today we're going to be learning about combinators in CSS. So let's get started. So basically these combinators are going to let us select some specific things. So we used it a lot of times, like in my previous video, in like the float video. I use like CSS so that I can select like the A tag under the list tag. So that's one of the combinator. So there are basically four types of combinators. That is, the first one being the descendant combinator, basically the space, and the next thing being child selector, basically that's gonna select any child thing. And the next thing is gonna be these both are kind of similar, but yeah, adjacent sibling selector is the third one, and the fourth one is the general sibling selector. So we're gonna be seeing an example of all those. So this is the default example we're gonna be using for all these. So this is what we're going to be using. We're going to be having a paragraph tag, or let me put it an h2 actually. H2, and let me remove the paragraph tag. There we go. So we removed that, and now what we can be doing is we can be having some text right here. So let me just say under div, since it's under the div, so that's what we're going to be using it. And I'm going to be doing it 2 times. And the next thing is going to be a span element. So let me go ahead and put span right there. And if you want, you can even put a section. So I'm gonna put a section right here. So that's kind of the same thing too. Let me go ahead and put a section. I mean, that's a lot different, but yeah, it works kind of the same if you want. So let me go ahead and put section. But so under the section, under the div and section, there you go. So there we go. Actually, it's not a tag, section right there. So now we have thing done right here. So we have a section element, and now we can be let me go ahead, yeah. So there we go. Under the 1, and it's gonna be 2, and it's gonna be 3. So we have 3 things right here. So now I already have my index.css done. So let's see what happens. So first of all, I'm gonna be doing something like this. So first of all, I'm gonna be having a class to this, and there's gonna be a div class. Let me put it div 1, 2, 3. So let me go ahead and do this. But if you don't have to though. If you want, you can, but you don't have to. But so yeah. Now what we can be doing is we can be using div, and let's go ahead and first perform the descendant selector. So this is gonna be div and p. So anything under the div and is a h2 tag actually for us. Let's see, yeah, it's an h2 tag. Under it, any h2 tag is gonna be changed to background color. Let me put the background color to be let's say yellow. And let me see. So that works under div 1, under div 2, under the div and section doesn't work. So under div 3 works. So that's descendant one. So that works. So now let me go ahead and show you guys something like this. So by the way, why is this not selecting? Because it's technically under the div, but it's technically under the section too. So that's why it didn't. So now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be using div, and let me go ahead and remove this. Actually, we don't need to use another one. So next we're gonna be using a child selector. So for this you have to have a sign like this. So it does the same too, pretty much. So this selects any child once. So since this is not a child, since this is under the section, it doesn't work. And that's pretty much about this child selector right there. So now this is an adjacent sibling selector. It's not general, but it's adjacent one. So for this, what you gotta do is you just gotta use plus. So I'm gonna be explaining you guys what it does. So this child selector kind of works the same. It's just gonna select any child once under the h2, and the h2 selects basically any descendants. And the next thing, basically the plus, basically the adjacent selector, and it's gonna let me see. So this plus is gonna be doing something like this. So let me go ahead and do another paragraph tag right here. Let me go ahead and put it right there. And now that highlights. So the reason what happened is because this thing follows like this. So after the div tag, any h2 tag or the first h2 tag basically is gonna be highlighted. So if I have another one of these, it's not gonna work. So there. So it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna put it 4. So there we go. It doesn't work. So only the first one works. So I can copy this, paste it right there, and I can copy this and put it again right here. And this is gonna be 5 since this is our 5th h2, and that highlights too. So that's how this thing works. It basically selects the thing after that specific thing right here. First, it's gonna be selecting h2 after the div. So that's the third combinator. And the last one, so it's gonna be something like this. Let me find that thing right here. It's gonna be something like this. Let me put it right there. So that's how this thing is gonna be like. So under the div 4 and under the div 5, so it's kind of like general. This is basically the general sibling selector. So this is gonna be selecting anything after the div tag. So if I have like, let me put it and put a lot of these. So let's say we have a lot of these, and there we go. So it's selecting anything under after the div tag. It's not after it. Let me change it to after, so that we guys can understand. Let me put it right there, that one right there, that one, and the last one. So now also I'm gonna be changing for this too. So there we go. So only after div is gonna be selected for this, and it's kind of like one. For before, it's gonna just select only one, but this can select multiple, since we can use it's going to be selecting all the H2s. So these combinators are pretty important, and I know that's kind of like a basic topic, but we're going to be using them a lot. Like you saw me using in like the thing, where is it, like the flow video in CSS. So yeah, you saw me using something like this. So basically the descendant. So yeah, so that's how these combinators work, and that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.